This is part B of the Khoodeelaar television channel, broadcasting under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo editions, Khoodeelaar television channel. This is part B on Wednesday, the 1st of November 2023. One of the things that is happening in Palestine is that people from various nationalities, faiths, groups that were in Gaza, visiting friends, relatives, or otherwise just traveling there, have been caught by surprise when the Zionist state of Israel has been bombarding the whole area, massacring children and women. So the dimension is beyond description. The suffering, the bewilderment, the surprise, the shock. In the United Kingdom, where the Interior Minister, Cruella Fernandez, has got herself a relationship with the Zionist state by managing to marry a person of Jewish associations. So she has become, in effect, a de facto extension of the Zionist genocidist Benjamin Netanyahu's fascist regime, and she has lost no opportunity before looking for excuses to condemn all the demonstrators, protesters for a ceasefire in Palestine, blaming them and accusing them of being terrorists. And the so-called debate about free speech and the meaning of words has got an extra importance and significance. How long before they ban speech itself, let alone free speech? And there are people, including people who are of genuine Jewish faith and persuasion, who are in solidarity with the people of Palestine, thus showing that the state of Israel is not to be treated as a state of Jewish people. It's a Zionist state, which is oppressing the Jewish people as much as it is oppressing the Palestinian people, except that the casualties, the murders being inflicted on the people of Palestine is many times more than anything that has been suffered by the people of Jewish faith in the territory called Israel. The United Kingdom has got a conservative prime minister, Rishi Sunak, who has been in the cabinet of the former incumbent in the post, the congenital liar Boris Johnson. The congenital liar Boris Johnson has been the subject of many references in the news media in the last 48 hours, especially relating to the evidence to the COVID inquiry being given by Dominic Cummings, and later the evidence presented to the same inquiry, evidence of Helen McNamara. Helen McNamara has made very significant comments, and her comments retrospectively have become even more significant because of the appearance along the same kind of time within this general time frame of Dominic Cummings. Cummings sent WhatsApp messages during the COVID lockdown, was supreme commander in the regime of Boris the congenital liar Johnson. And Dominic Cummings actually sent misogynistic, sexist, offensive messages against and about Helen McNamara and calling her a cunt in the messages. Now, this is only a tip of the iceberg of the venom, the criminality, the disrespect, and the disgusting attitude of Dominic Cummings, which is why there was this tussle between the COVID inquiry chairperson and the Cabinet Office and Boris Johnson over the contents of Boris Johnson's WhatsApp communications. Because those communications not only contain evidence of Dominic Cummings calling Helen McNamara and cunt, but also, even more alarmingly, contain various messages attributed to Boris Johnson, at the time Prime Minister, saying that the old people will have to die. This is such a deeply profound item of evidence of the cruelty and criminality of Boris Johnson, that everything that baby angel Geronimo has been saying as a witness about the culture of the DEFRA, the criminals, aided and abetted by Boris Johnson, the criminal, the evilness personified, is vindicated all over again with such powerful force and relevance and topicality. Because this is the time when Rishi Sunak et al. Are shedding crocodile tears for the particular victims that have been hijacked by, that have been hostaged, taken as hostage by the Hamas attack on the 7th of October 2023. Neither Sunak, and most certainly nor Rishi Sunak, nor Suella evilness, has had any time to even recognize the sufferings inflicted on the children and the women by the Zionist state in Gaza. The so-called opposition Labour Party, fronted by the political murderer of the Labour Party, Keir Starmer, has been refusing to, in principle, lend the support of the Labour Party to the international demand by the State of Israel to cease fire. So these are just topics. The details are not always necessary to be gone into because some of the details have already been included. Going back to the state of the English local borough councils and local councils, especially highlighted by the corrupt regime of the Conservative mayored Croydon Council, where the chief executive is the greediest individual, self serving careerist in the history of England, Catherine Carswell. Catherine Carswell is a liar and a conspirator and a looter of the local people's council tax and other incomes, while the number of directors in her regime that are getting high amounts of money is obscenely high, too many. As even the timid Inside Croydon website has published, which I read in part A. Overall, the essential truth about Britain, the United Kingdom, is that there is no justice, there is no fairness. And the saying in the Holy Quran, Innal tilakana zahuka, becomes all the more important. Because when there is nothing, no forum, no platform that can be approached for giving a judgment on the misconduct and the criminality of the local councils, misconduct and criminality of central government department like DEFRA. The only place to approach and the only place to depend on is the day of judgment. On the day of judgment, there will be the two witnesses on either shoulder of every human being, no matter what faith they profess or no faith they profess. These witnesses, two witnesses for each human being, will produce the exact records of everything that each human being does while alive and on this face of the earth. Over in the USA, one indicted felon after another, one indicted felon and criminal, co-criminal with the main criminal, Donald Trump, is falling. And they're falling not under the evidence produced by the angels on each shoulder of the human beings. They're falling under earthly kind of evidence and tests and criteria. For example, let's check if we can find one of the ones that has been appearing in the reports. So this is the picture. There is a picture on a Guardian online piece of Jenna Ellis tearfully reading a statement in court. And in that statement, or on that occasion of her giving that statement, she says while she was employed during Donald Trump's frontage in the White House, she expected older and more experienced lawyers to tell her the truth and give her the advice and the guidance which she did not get. And in her testimony, admitting that she had lied, she said she is full of remorse. Now, this is exactly the kind of evidence. Innal batila kana zahuka. Falsehood, falsehood shall perish. Falsehood is bound to perish. Surah Al Isra. So, all the evidence that has been heard so far in various courts in the USA against Donald Trump and his co liars are based on the evidence that are mortally available. They are not based on the evidence of the truth of their behavior, their conduct, and their utterances as recorded by the angels, whose evidence and testimony will be recorded, testimony will be presented on the day of judgment. So, baby angel Geronimo has witnessed the persistent, mortally defined lying and evilness and misconception, misinformation conceived, concocted, confected by the criminals at DEFRA, fronted by the evilness called Christian evilness, middle miss, and then retailed in the High Court by Griffiths and before him by Murray, and at the district court level by Leighton. All of these lies that Griffiths, Murray, and Leighton have perpetrated against the absolutely innocent baby angel Geronimo are, of course, recorded in each of the liars' records as kept contemporaneously by the angels. And these lies, these records will be presented before the day of judgment, on the day of judgment, for judgment. In the lying, falsehood perpetrated by Griffiths knowingly lied and denied the existence of the otherwise accepted rule of law, due process. And he said facts did not matter, evidence did not matter. By facts and evidence not mattering, Griffiths was referring to the absolute, pure innocence of baby angel Geronimo. Baby angel Geronimo is a blessing from God, and baby angel Geronimo is protected by God despite the earthly appearance of being victimized and punished by the evilness, Christian middle miss, and the punishment being given appearance of legal, judicial legitimacy by the criminals Griffiths and Murray et al. So, baby angel Geronimo is protected by the heavenly forces that created him. And baby angel Geronimo is 100%, a million percent pure health. No bovine tuberculosis ever infected him, no other infection affected him. So the baby angel Geronimo is a blessing, unique. And baby angel Geronimo's witness against these criminals, these liars, Griffiths and Murray and Leighton, is a witness testimony evidence that will be emphatically presented before God on the day of judgment. And the criminals will be exposed and punished. And these criminals are already being punished and exposed, as it says in the Holy Quran, Innal batila kana zahuka. Falsehood is bound to perish, and falsehood has perished on each of the claims made by Donald Trump, each of the claims made by his evil British disciple Boris Johnson the criminal, each of the assertions by Steve Bannon, each of the assertions by Christine Middlemis, each of the assertions by the apologists and liars and retailers of the lies for DEFRA liars, each and every single one is taken apart by the truth and exposed as lies, as a lie. As it says in the Holy Quran, Innal batila kana zahuka. Griffith said that facts didn't matter, evidence didn't matter. And even though baby angel Geronimo was not infected by biliosis, even so, the Secretary of State, evilness, George Injustice Eustace, or anyone else in his place, was entitled to ignore the evidence, ignore the facts, ignore the truth. And there is the vindication of the baby angel Geronimo's witness, baby angel Geronimo's evidence, baby angel Geronimo's truthfulness, uniqueness. We shall be continuing to update all of these on all of these. And we move on to the briefly move on to the evidence being presented before the COVID inquiry, which Helen McNamara. All of these evidence, each individual item, instance of evidence, is vindicates the baby angel Geronimo's overall assertion and witness and testimony against the evilness, DEFRA, against the evilness Griffiths, against the evilness Murray, against the evilness Leighton, and against the evilness each and every single one of the apologists that looked for excuses to make an apology, that is to say, to cover up the lies and lying of DEFRA. All these so called licensed vets, licensed veterinary experts, with one connection or another with the criminals at the DEFRA, whose approval these self seeking opportunists need for their careers. Dozens of criminals infiltrated the campaign in 2021, campaign for baby angel Geronimo, and pretended to be sympathetic to the baby angel Geronimo. But they fizzled out as the liars that they are, that they have been. They didn't last. We shall be continuing on all of these in due course. Of course, this is 22:46 hours GMT on Wednesday, the 1st of November 2023. It's part B of the Baby Angel Geronimo editions, Khoodeelaar television channel, coming to an end at this point.